More than 2,000 years ago, one man's ideas shaped the foundation of human knowledge. His thoughts influenced everything: science, philosophy, politics, and logic. His name was Aristotle, a student of Plato, a teacher of Alexander the Great, and one of the most extraordinary minds in human history. Aristotle was born in 384 BCE in Stagira, a small town in northern Greece. His father, Nicomachus, was a physician to the Macedonian king, and that early exposure to biology and medicine shaped Aristotle's passion for the natural world. But when he was still a child, tragedy struck. Both of his parents died. He was raised by a guardian and later sent to Athens, the greatest center of learning in the ancient world. In Athens, he entered Plato's academy and studied there for 20 years. Plato believed in ideal forms, perfect realities that exist beyond our physical world. But Aristotle disagreed. He believed that truth could be found through observing the real physical world around us. He was not satisfied with abstract theories. He wanted to see, to measure, and to understand. That difference between Plato's idealism and Aristotle's realism changed the course of Western thought forever. After Plato's death, Aristotle expected to lead the academy, but the position went to someone else. Disappointed, he left Athens and traveled widely, studying animals, plants, and human behavior. He recorded hundreds of observations and began to develop a systematic approach to knowledge. Eventually, King Philip II of Macedon invited him to tutor his young son, Alexander, who would later be known as Alexander the Great. Aristotle taught him not only philosophy, but ethics, logic, science, and the value of reason. He told Alexander that knowledge was the greatest weapon a ruler could ever possess. When Alexander went on to conquer vast empires, he carried Aristotle's teachings and even his writings with him. After his time as a tutor, Aristotle returned to Athens and founded his own school, the Lyceum. There, he and his students, known as the Peripatetics, walked and discussed ideas while conducting research. They studied biology, physics, politics, literature, and astronomy. Aristotle collected over 150 political constitutions from Greek city-states and analyzed them. He observed and classified over 500 species of animals. He was building what was, in essence, the world's first research university. Aristotle's philosophy was rooted in one belief, that knowledge begins with experience. By observing the world through our senses, he said, we can understand the universal laws behind it. He divided knowledge into three main categories: theoretical philosophy, for understanding truth itself, including physics and metaphysics; practical philosophy, for guiding human behavior, such as ethics and politics; and productive philosophy, for the arts and craftsmanship. He also created the system of logic that we still use today, deductive reasoning, or the syllogism. All men are mortal. Socrates is a man. Therefore, Socrates is mortal. That simple pattern became the foundation for scientific reasoning for centuries. But Aristotle was not only a logician. He was deeply concerned with human happiness. He asked one of the most important questions in history: what is the purpose of life? His answer was eudaimonia, not simple pleasure, but true flourishing, achieved through virtue and balance. Aristotle taught that moral virtue lies in the golden mean, the middle ground between two extremes. Courage lies between wastefulness and cowardice. Generosity lies between wastefulness and greed. For him, happiness was not about wealth or fame, but about living wisely, rationally, and with self-control. He also studied politics, not as an ideal, but as a practical science. Humans, he said, are political animals, meant to live in communities. He analyzed monarchy, aristocracy, and democracy and concluded that no single form of government is perfect. The best system, he believed, is one that promotes virtue and serves the common good. Government should help people live well, not simply rule over them. Aristotle's curiosity extended to every corner of the natural world. He dissected animals, studied plants, and tried to understand life itself. He believed everything in nature had a purpose, a final cause. While many of his scientific ideas were later corrected, his method of careful observation became the foundation of modern science. He wasn't just looking for answers, he was inventing the way to find them. After the death of Alexander the Great, Athens turned against anyone with Macedonian connections. Aristotle, who had ties to the Macedonian royal family, faced hostility. He left Athens saying, "I will not allow the Athenians to sin twice against philosophy," referring to the death of Socrates. He retired to his mother's family estate in Chalcis, where he died in 322 BCE at the age of 62. Though only about 30 of his more than 200 works survive, their influence is immeasurable. For nearly 2 millennia, his writings were considered the ultimate authority on science and philosophy. Even medieval scholars referred to him simply as the philosopher. Modern science has moved beyond many of his conclusions, but never beyond his method, the belief that truth is found through observation, reason, and balance. Aristotle's legacy lives on in every classroom, every laboratory, and every thoughtful conversation about ethics, logic, and the nature of existence. He taught humanity that wisdom does not come from belief alone, but from questioning, that knowledge begins with curiosity, and that the greatest purpose of life is to understand it.